Hey there everybody, Aaron here. Welcome to another episode of Gideon's Tactical. Today we're going to be doing an overview and field test of the Tops Knives Shango XL, designed by Joe Flowers. Joe Flowers is a knife designer as well as a bush technique guy. Has designed awesome knives for both Tops, Condor, and some other knife companies. So great guy, knows what he's doing, knows what he's talking about, and he designed this little fixed blade to either be paired, with larger knives or just on light, treks, and to be used in a lot of different situations for a lot of different tasks. So we're going to go ahead and jump out there. I'll give you some basic specs and then we'll begin to use the Shango XL. Alright, so let's give you a couple basic specs here on this blade. You got a 4-inch actual cutting surface, full flat grind, made out of 440C stainless steel with a Rockwell hardness of 58 to 60. So it's going to hold an edge really well, and it has a high traction coating on there, which is really nice and smooth. It really shouldn't be called high traction, but it's got that flat gray coating on there, so you definitely don't have to worry about rusting like 1095, where you would have to worry about the rust. 1/8 of an inch thick, so it's a great slicer with a really nice fine edge on it. I didn't even have to do any touch up with that edge. Tops has got their stuff together when it comes to their blades. This really nice kind of harpoon design here. It has an unsharpened swedge up here, so it's a great little stabber, and it's got some strength, so you can do some prying side to side. Good jimping along the back here, not too aggressive, so even with bare hands, it doesn't hurt your fingers. Or if you're using gloves, it gives you good traction as well. Good finger guard. Then you move on to the micarta handle scales, which are really nice and large, fill out my hand really well. You can take them off if you so desire. And then on the back here, you got a little lanyard hole. You definitely would have to gut out your 550 paracord. That's what I had to do with this right here. And then you got a little fire steel notch back there, and then a nylon sheath that we will look at as well as we move through here. But I gotta say, just right off the bat, as we begin to process some wood and begin to use this Shango XL, this is a freaking awesome little fixed blade for either EDC tasks or to pair, with a larger wilderness blade. Let's get out there and begin to use this Shango XL. Nice. You can see how well that 1/8 of an inch thick blade, that edge is just slicing through that wood, going right through it. And really, what really kind of sets this knife apart from a lot of other ones is the ergonomics. It feels amazing in my hand. I really, really, really like how it's really thin, but I can really get a good grasp. I wear large size gloves. I got my work gloves on. You can see all the room that I have left to spare, but I can just get a really nice smooth slice. It just kind of disappears in my hand, and I always like that. Always look for that in a knife. If it disappears in my hand, it's definitely on my top list. So it just feels really good. Again, that jimping is giving me good traction, but not, fatiguing my finger and, hurting my thumb. So real good slicer for this type of stuff. The other nice thing with this handle is that it's designed really well to do that reverse chest pull, that you see me do a lot here on this channel. They give you this little notch on the micarta, so you just set your thumb right there, hold it backwards, and then you can do that reverse chest cut, when your hand starts getting tired or fatigued. It just feels very natural in your hands. Some other knives, just don't feel very comfortable when you're doing this type of cut, but very comfortable with the Shango XL as you're slicing. Really well designed for that kind of bushcraft style of cutting and just extended knife use. There's a lot of survival knives out there that they're good for about 5-10 minutes, just doing some basic cutting, but if you're gonna have to sit there and, you're gonna be using your blade like this for an hour, this knife is just really designed well for that type of use, particularly the handle and the ergonomics, so it's not gonna fatigue your hand over extended cutting and carving tasks. Let's try some rope cutting here with the Shango XL. Got some heavy duty nylon rope. I believe it's just going to slice right through. Yep. It's got a great edge on this blade. Very easy to go through this heavy duty nylon cord. Very easily. Smooth as butter, just slicing right through that heavy duty nylon rope. Very good design with that good amount of belly. Razor sharp edge with the Shango XL. Okay, so here's the Shenango XL. You can see there, 1/8 of an inch thick, 4-inch blade, so it's not going to be able to span a lot, but you can definitely do some light batoning if you have to. There you go. Splitting just a little bit of wood. Nothing crazy. That unsharpened swedge up here can definitely, brutalize your batoning stick. But if this is all you got, you need to get a little kindling going, you can definitely use your Shenango XL to split a little bit of wood and it'll definitely do the job for you. This knife only weighs in at just over 5 ounces, like 5.2 ounces I do believe. So it's just not going to be a good chopper. You can see here it's doing all right. I got a little pinky lanyard like I like to do, you know, so you do get some really good action there, and the handle's designed really well so I can get a really good grasp of it. But 5 ounces, I mean, anything short of about an inch branch, you're going to have to really exert some energy and just isn't really good at chopping. So that's about the best you're going to be able to do with this blade when it comes to chopping. Alright, so the Shango XL has this little ferrule rod fire striking notch here on the back of the handle. Got a really good pommel designed for that, so when you're holding it, you know, you can really get a good strike. But that's uncoated 440C steel right there with a really sharp angle on that little lip right there, so you're supposed to strike your fire rod, fire steel. This one is a Tops fire steel with some magnesium. I am not going to use magnesium for this demonstration. I'm just going to use the ferrule rod, and we'll give it a strike. This does not come with the Shango. You can get these separately for around 12 bucks, or you know, you can just buy your own, you know, at Walmart or any, you know, sports type of store. So we're going to use this one and see if it'll start some cotton ball here with some sparks. Let's give it a shot. Nice. There we go. Lit right away. Now I can put some tinder on there if I want and get this thing going. So that's a nice little notch that they give you with the Shango XL, and the original Shango has that as well, that you can use your fire steel with to get your fire going if you need to. Alright, let's take a look at the sheath that comes with the Shenango XL. It's pretty subpar. Just going to say it right from the get-go. It's a nylon sheath. You got a nice clip here. It says Tops, some Velcro for the extra amount so it's not flopping all over the place. You get some lashing points. It does come with about 3 feet of paracord. It took that off, but it does come with some leg lashing points down there. Then you flip it over on the back. You got a good set of molly, so that's all nice. Then you got a nice belt loop here, so you can definitely get that, you know, on tactical belts or other different things like that. Then you unclip this little guy right here, this flap, flip it over, flip it over, and here is the inside of the sheath. You got a nice little pocket there, you know, you can put a fire steel, whistle, you know, all that type of stuff in here with a little elastic band. Then it's got a little Kydex insert, and then a Velcro strap far away from the guard, which means that this can easily slide in and out if I'm holding it upside down, which I like to carry a knife of this size on my Hill People, you know, kit bag on my chest and carry it upside down. So this is not going to work very well. It's going to want to fall out. It's just Velcro, so that's a downside. And then you got this flap to mess with. The plus side is they've designed it in such a way that you can remove this flap if you want to. If you are carrying it, you know, just on your hip or whatever, and you don't like that flap, you can unvelcro it, close it back up, and then you just have it like this, and that flap goes away, and you can store it somewhere else, and you can just kind of carry it dangle style on your hip. It does come with these 2 extra little lashing points, so if you did take that flap off, and then you could run paracord through there and do a separate lashing. So if you are using the flap, you flip it over, you clip it into place. It's not bad, it holds it in place. Not too much of a rattle, and the knife's definitely not going to fall out or anything, but I don't like using that flap. I much rather would have preferred just a nice Kydex sheath. I don't like this nylon sheath, so ultimately, because I love this blade so much, I'm going to probably have to get a custom-made Kydex, because the sheath barely gets the job done. Definitely like a 4 out of 10. Not impressed. Much rather would have preferred one of Tops' Kydex sheaths on the Shenango XL. Alright guys, just wanted to give you a quick competitive option here from Tops, another knife from Tops, against the Shenango XL. It is the Tops Light Trekker. We've already previously reviewed this knife. You can go ahead and check out our channel and check out the playlist, and you'll be able to find the Light Trekker review very easily. Great blade. Differences are the Light Trekker is high carbon 1095, whereas the Shenango is 440C stainless. This one has a Rockwell hardness of 56 to 58. This one's going to have 58 to 60, so a little bit better Rockwell hardness. You are going to get a little bit longer edge retention out of your 440C, and then you don't have to maintain it as much as your 1095. Both weigh right around 5 ounces. Both have micarta handle scales. They're both 1/8 of an inch thick. Both have great blade designs, and they both have areas to strike fire steel with. The Light Trekker has it up here on the back of the spine, very easy to use, and then the Shenango, like we've already talked about, has it back here on the handle, that little notch there. They both work about the same. It's just a little more comfortable to use the Light Trekker It's just a little bit easier to use that one just because of where it's placed. The plain uncoated steel there is a little easier to strike your fire steel with. The other differences are that the light trekker will come with a Kydex sheath, which I love, great Kydex sheath, and a fire steel. The Shenango will not come with a fire steel and comes with this kind of crappy nylon sheath that we've talked about that I am not at all impressed with. So, and they're right at the same price point, right over $100, like $105. You can get either one of these blades. So it really is a pros and cons to you. What I really love about the Shenango over the light trekker is the ergonomics. The ergonomics are insane on the Shenango. I mean, just feels so comfortable in my hand. I would say that the ergonomics on the light trekker in comparison to the Shenango are probably like a 6 or a 7. This one's a 10 out of 10. I mean, this is just so comfortable in my hand. Any way I hold it, it just feels great. And then I like the fact that it's stainless steel, so I don't have to, you know, worry as much about, you know, maintaining the edge with oil and, you know, rust and all that stuff because I'm out in the snow a lot when I'm working with my blades. So the pros and cons there, great sheath with the light trekker and high carbon, and the fire steel, you're not going to get the fire steel and you got to deal with a kind of crappy nylon sheath with the Shenango. But both great blades. It really just depends on, you know, how I'm feeling that day, which one I'm going to rock and take out into the bush. All right, let's go ahead and close up this review. Overall, I got to say this Shango XL is a 10 out of 10. The knife itself, 10 out of 10. The ergonomics are insane, regardless if you have small, medium, or extra large size hands. They're going to feel great, and this knife is going to feel great in any grip you use this blade in. You know, however you're cutting the wood, it just slices through man-made materials as well as wood. I love the 440C. Tops does a great job over there with their 440C. It's going to hold an edge well. It's razor sharp and easy to get a good edge back on it when it does dull, and that it's stainless. I don't have to worry about the maintenance so much. So all that is great. The downside to me that kind of knocks it down from being a 10 out of 10 to maybe about an 8 out of 10 for me is what I'll give this. 8 out of 10 here at Gideon's Tactical is that they come with this nylon sheath. Not a fan of that. You've seen that already. So you're going to have to upgrade to a Kydex, in my opinion, and then the fact that they don't give you the ferrule rod, you have to buy that separately with the magnesium for the price point of around $110 on other websites, and then Tops, I believe, wants about $130 for this knife. So it's a little bit bang for your buck isn't quite there, in my opinion, in comparison to, say, the light trekker. Now, the light trekker has the 1095, so 440C, you have to rate those back and forth. But, I mean, if this came with the same sheath that the light trekker did with the Kydex sheath and then came with a ferrule rod, I mean, this would be insane value, an amazing knife, and I'd be, you know, screaming to get it as fast as you can. I would still say the knife itself is a screaming deal and is awesome, and I love using it, but I am going to have to upgrade to some form of Kydex, and, you know, you got to use your own ferrule rod. So, pluses and minuses, I'd say overall, 8 out of 10, great blade, and if you're willing to live with that sheath or you're great at molding Kydex, hey, no problem. It's going to be a great blade overall for you. So thanks so much for watching, everyone. Stay equipped, stay prepared, and we'll see you out there.